Hello dear students, very good morning and welcome back our video session of subject OC. This is our chapter number 4th and lecture number 8 of this particular chapter. First of all, how are you all? I hope all of you are fine at your home and doing well, and I hope you have completed your homework which regarding the linear organization which we discussed yesterday or in last session. Now today in this particular session we will discuss about the functional organization, which is the second type of organization in our studies. First of all, let us discuss about the meaning. Linear organization gives more importance to department than work. This is the greatest limitation of this kind of structure. Keeping this limitation in mind, the work-based organization came into existence. Linear organization has lack of specialized work as the stress is more on department and less on functions. According to linear organizational structure, the administrators and officers in one unit have to perform many kind of tasks. It is obvious all of them are not experts in all the work varieties. Hence, a structure is formed in which the experts with specialized knowledge are given special responsibilities in the particular unit, which is called functional organization. For example, personnel officer will look after the recruitment, transfer, promotion, etc. of that particular unit. So now let us discuss this functional organization. Basically, from the impression of this first paragraph, we can understand that due to the limitations of linear organization, the new type of organizational structure, that is functional organizational or functional organization, is evolved. There are some of the limitations which is not practical in today's world, and it requires a special attention on a specific function instead of specific departments. Then, from the experience of the experts and different managers, they evolved a new type of structure, that is functional organizational structure. One thing is common here is that there is no one or not a work of a single person regarding the establishment or the framing of this organizational structure. It is the crux and result of so many different type of managers. During their working path, they found out some of the difficulties and then tried to solve that by their own, and in that path they found out a new type of organizational structure which are applicable today. In many of the organizations, they are following a different type of structure. Like in majority of the companies of American industries, they are having their own structure. For example, if you are search in a internet regarding the GE model, that is General Electronic model, then they are having their own unique model regarding this organizational structure. There are also different type of models are there, like BCG Matrix, that is Boston Consulting Group, and so and everything. So it is the work of a manager that once he found a limitation in a linear organization, then they try to find out a way to outcome from that limitations, and by that way they are finding a new type of organizational structure. And today we are going to discuss about the functional organizational structure, which is coming from the limitations of the linear organization. Linear organization gives more importance to department than work. As we seen in last lecture, that in linear organization they are focusing on different department like administrative department, production department and sales department, but not on work, because work is secondary for them and they focused on work on the basis of the departments, means they are focusing on department only and not framing the rules and regulations for specific work. This is the greatest limitation of this kind of structure, because in today's world that type of structure is not at all achievable, or we can say by implementing that particular organizational structure we are not able to fight against the competition. Keeping this limitation in mind, so now what is the limitation of linear organization? The limitation is that linear organization gives more importance to department than work. By keeping this limitation in mind, the new work-based organization came into existence. So from that limitation, we found a new functional organizational structure. Linear organization has lack of specialized work, as the stress is more on departments and less on functions. As we already discussed in linear organization also, so this will be the second limitation of linear organization, where lack of specialized work, because the stress is more on departments and less on functions. So it may happen that the departmental head should be very well experts in all the fields that comes under them, and that's why we cannot find a specialized or an expert for each and every activity in a linear organizational type of structure. And that's why the linear organization has lack of specialized work, because the more stress is done on the department and less on function. So for any of the inability or incompletion of a work, the departmental head will be responsible and not the functional area manager. But the functional area manager is also not an expert on that particular activity, because they are coming under the departmental heads and there is no independent activity of the particular area manager. According to linear organizational structure, the administrators and officers in one unit have to perform many kind of tasks, as we discussed that according to that structure, that is linear organizational structure, the administrators and officers in one unit have to perform many kind of tasks. It is obvious all of them are not experts in all the work varieties. Say for example, an administrative departmental head is very good in administrative activities, but he is not that much efficient in accounting activities too, because a single person can be expert in 2 or 3 activities but not in all activities. But in linear organization, the more stress was on the departmental heads, where they are responsible for each and every functioning of the organization. So, according to linear organizational structure, the administrator, it means the departmental heads and officers in one unit have to perform many kind of tasks, because they are taking care of each and every activity of that particular department. And it is obvious that all of them are not expert in all the work varieties, as we already discussed, or as we discuss in this particular lecture, that the departmental head is not at all expert in all the activities of his particular area. Hence, a new structure is formed in which the experts with specialized knowledge are given special responsibilities in the particular unit, which is called functional organization. First of all, line this particular statement. The experts with specialized knowledge. It means now we are having expert in each and every function and not on department. In linear organization, the experts are in departmental activities but not on specific activities. But here in functional organization, we are having the experts with specialized knowledge given special responsibilities in the particular unit. This is called functional organization. Say for example, in a village area or in a backward area of a city also, there are some of the practicing doctors who are working as a doctor in each and every disease and illness. They are giving a medicine and treatment for each and every kind of illness and disease, irrespective of seriousness of that particular disease. So that kind of structure comes under the linear organizational structure. While in city area nowadays we are having a specialized doctors for each and every kind of illness and disease, like we are having physicians, we are having surgeons, we are having psychiatrists, etc., etc. So that kind of work is only possible in the functional organization. I hope you got my point, and hence a structure is formed in which the experts with specialized knowledge. So now we are having an expert in specialized knowledge is given a special responsibility in the particular unit. So now their work area is limited to their expertise only, which is called functional organizational. For example, personnel officer. Personnel officer means human resource manager will look after the recruitment because he knows the actual need of the persons, the transfer of the employees, promotions, etc. of that particular unit, because he is expert in all these kind of activities. So he will be having the responsibility and authority for this recruitment, transfer, promotion, etc. of that particular unit. Now let us discuss about the formation of functional organization. Functional organization gives special importance to work distribution and specialization. In this structure, the distribution of work is not done according to the departmental but according to the nature of work. For each kind of work, different experts are appointed. Such experts are not only advisors, they are also administrative heads who are fully responsible to the task assigned to them. For example, the purchase officer is fully responsible for all type of purchase related work. The idea of this structure can be best obtained with the help of the following figure. So first of all, let's have a look on the figure of that particular functional organization. See, here all the activities are basically distributed into two departments. First one is the administrative department and second one is a factory department. These departments are not strictly departments like a linear organization. It is the department for sake of the convenience, so that we can distribute the different functions according to the functional areas and not rigidly following the department as we are following in the linear organization. So here, first of all, let us understand this particular diagram. In administrative department, there are basically four functions or four works are there, like information or public relation officer. It is public relation. There is no space between public and relation in this particular name. So first is information officer or public relation officer. Second one is a discipline officer. Third one is a account officer, and fourth one is a guidance or direction officer. While in factory, see, basically these two different is based on the activities. In administrative department, we are having permanent and salaried employees who are doing both kind of activities, that is physical and intellectual both. While in factory department, we are having only workers who are working on physical work only. So, in factory department, we are having group officer, time officer, quality control officer, and maintenance engineer. Up to here, you will understand very easily. But now, the next relation is very complicated or complex to understand. Now, first of all, focus on information or public relation officer. He is the expert who can focus on all kind of information and public relation, whether it is in an administrative department or factory. That's why there is two arrows. The first arrow from information officer to employees, and second one is the longest arrow from the public relation officer to workers. It means he is also collecting all the information from factory premises also, and same way he is also collecting the information from employee, and by processing this information he publish all kind of data to the public also, and that's why he is also termed as a public relation officer. So with this kind of relation, each and every functional expert is having a two line of responsibility, or we can say authority, where they have to focus on all the activities which are given them, whether it is in the particular department or in some other department. While in linear organization, the managers are strictly sticking on their particular functions only, or their particular department only. The discipline officer is responsible for maintaining a discipline, whether it is in an administrative department or in a factory department, or he can frame the rules and regulations for all the activities which are undertaken regarding the discipline officer. Now third one is account officer. He can take work from the employees as well as from workers also. Whenever it is needed, then through clerk they can get the work done from workers. Same way, it is the responsibility of the guidance or direction officer to give direction to both. It is to the workers and to the employees. So here the main focus is not on the line of the authorities, or they are not responsible for their immediate supervisor, but they have their own task to perform, and they have to focus on their own task irregarding or irrespective of whether it is in the same department or in other department. Now in factory department, we are having a group officer who is focusing on all the activities of the workers and group of the workers, but same time they are focusing on employees also. Time officer, who is the one who takes all the records of timeliness, he is also responsible for both. Quality control officer and maintenance engineer. So this way, instead of a linear organizational structure or a linear line of authority and responsibility, they are responsible for their particular task or activity, and they are having the responsibility and authority to follow the work. Now let us discuss the formation, because now I hope everything is clear in your mind, so we have to just go through it. Functional organization gives special importance to work distribution and specialization. Here all these persons, whether it is discipline officer or maintenance engineer, are expert and specialized in their particular work area, and they are having a large number of experience and educational qualification in that particular area. In this structure, the distribution of work is not done according to the departmental, as we have seen in the linear organization, but here the distribution of work is done according to the nature of work, as we can see in the diagram. For each kind of work, different experts are appointed. It means here we are appointing all those who are specialized and expert in their particular work area only. So, like for discipline officer, we are having a person who very well aware about all the kind of disciplinary actions. For accounting officer, we are having some kind of chartered accountants and proficient person who will take care of this particular department. And likewise, such experts are not only advisors. Their role is not restricted to give advice only, because it is their own responsibility. Like the responsibility of time officer is not to give advice all the employees and workers regarding the timeliness and time management, but it is his responsibility to take care of all this activity and to maintain the records of it. So, such experts are not only advisors, they are also administrative heads who are fully responsible to the task assigned to them. So, if in any of the case the time management is not proper or the timeliness is not following in the particular organization, then it is the responsibility of the time officer, and the general manager or chief officer will ask the time officer regarding it, and not to the particular employee or worker, because they are not just the advisors but they are administrative heads. It means it is the responsibility of them who are working on that particular area for following that particular thing. Likewise, here we have one example. The purchase officer is fully responsible for all type of purchase related work. It means whether it is the purchase of a raw material, tools, equipment, but it is also related to the furniture, stationery, everything. Whatever purchasing in the organization, it is the responsibility of the purchase officer to go through a special structure, like they have to ask for a tender, and after receiving the tenders, he has to select the one who is giving the best authority, etc. So it is the responsibility of the purchase officer to focus on this particular related task. The idea of this structure can be best obtained with the help of the following figure, which we have already discussed in the above session. In work-based organization, the supreme power rests with the chief executive officer, as we can see from this particular diagram or from the figure, that the main authority over here is the chief officer or chief executive officer. As per the chart given above, the unit can be divided into two parts. Each unit has its own list of activities and work, and in the same way is assigned to different officers. According to this, each officer can give orders to the employees under him to perform the task. Now let us understand this particular point before moving forward. First of all, in work-based organization, the supreme power rests with the chief executive officer. So here above the chief executive officer there will be the board of directors, but as it is the function related work, the total responsibility lies on the chief executive officer instead of general manager. As per the chart given above, means as per this chart, the unit can be divided into two parts. So here we can see that the unit is divided into administrative department or factory department. If it is needed, then there will be some other department also, but the main focus is on functions and not on the departments. So based on the nature of activities, the administrative department carried out all the activities which is specifically related with intellectual task, because in administrative department basically the work can be done by sitting in an office itself. Each unit has its own list of activities and work, and in the same way is assigned to different officers. Likewise, in factory department, the majority work is of the practical in nature or the physical work is there, and that's why the activities, like here it is given that each unit has its own list of activities. So in administrative department, we are having the activities on the information, pub discipline, account guidance, etc. While in factory, the time officer, quality control, because actual work is done over here, so we require a quality control officer over here, and maintenance engineer, etc. So each unit has its own list of activity and work, and in the same way is assigned to different officers. According to this, each officer can give orders to the employees under him to perform the task. It means, first of all, they have to focus on their own departmental activities or on their own working areas which is nearest to. Likewise, it is the responsibility of account officer to give instruction and order to employees, but same time they have to give instruction and order to workers also. So each officer can give orders to the employees or workers under him to perform the task. Now let us move towards the last but not least paragraph of this particular topic. In this type of organization, it should be considered that not a single work remain unassigned, and at the same time not a single work is assigned twice. Organizational units in which there is more variety to be seen in work, this kind of structure is more favorable. As we can see that it is based on the functions, activities or task. Sometimes it may happen that we assign a single task to more than one person. So it may happen that there will be some kind of duplication of work in that also. And sometimes it happens that the work will be unassigned because of the lack of proper administration. So it may happen in this type of organization, but we have to be careful regarding this. So in this type of organization, it should be considered that not a single work remain unassigned. It means, first of all, we have to make the list according to the need of the functions to be performed. After that particular list of the functions, the next task is to departmentalize according to the work, like whether it is administrative of a nature or factory premise of a nature. Then we start assigning this particular task to different experts so that everything will be clear cut and everything will be in its orderly manner. So here we have to consider that not a single work remain unassigned, and at the same time not a single work is assigned twice. The next point is of an important nature because you have to line this particular statement where the former functional organizational structure can be used. If this kind of question can be asked in your examination, then you have to write organizational units in which there is more variety to be seen in work. It means there are so many work and so many different working areas are there. And in that type of organizational unit where more number of varieties in the work can be seen, and this kind of structure is more favorable in that type of organization. Say for example, in an organization where more than one item can be produced, or we are having different categories of goods and services under one factory premises, then the functional organizational structure can be very useful. So with this particular topic, we are concluding our session over here. Today basically we discuss about the functional organization, but along with that we also discuss some of the limitations of the linear organization. So first of all, you have to write the limitation of linear organization in your concept book, like what are the limitations, so it gives more importance to department than work. Second, has lack of specialized work and stress is more on department and less on functioning. And third, the administration and officer in one unit may have to perform many kind of tasks, and all of them are not expert in all of the work varieties. And that's why these are the three limitations that you have to mention separately in your concept book and fair book regarding the linear organization. From next lecture onwards, we will discuss about the formal and informal organization. Till that, you have to complete all the work given to you. Thank you very much, class.